The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones Season 8 video. By the time you see this video, the second episode of Game of Thrones will have just ended. Winterfell is now in a frenzy as they get ready for the biggest threat the Seven Kingdoms has ever known. Most of our beloved characters are there, and they are moments away from engaging in the most difficult fight of their life. Unfortunately, we will lose some of these characters in the very next episode. This could be the last time we ever see some of these characters, and I do have to say, that is kinda heartbreaking. Some of these characters have taken us on such incredible journeys over the years, so it will be very sad to see some of them go. Based on some of the footage I have seen and the articles I have read, the next episode should be one of the greatest cinematic experiences in television history. This next episode is directed by none other than Miguel Sapochnik, the same man that brought us amazing episodes like Hardhome, The Battle of the Bastards, and The Winds of Winter. This will also be one of the longest episodes in Game of Thrones history. When the very first official trailer came out, we could see that most of the scenes were from that battle. They will have to fight the army of the dead on all sides of the castle. Winterfell does have two separate walls to defend the castle, but we have already seen evidence of the Whites making it over them. The trailers have shown the main characters fighting on top of Winterfell's battlements, which is basically their last line of defense. If they have to fall back any further, the Whites will absolutely make it inside of the castle. Now, the good thing is, we do know Winterfell can be defended against large forces.
And Ned Stark always said, 500 men could hold Winterfell against 10,000. And Ned Stark always said, 500 men could hold Winterfell against 10,000.
Unfortunately, they will have to fight over 100,000 Whites, White Walkers, Giants, and even a dragon. Almost every single character will not only be fighting for their own life, but also for the survival of many others. What I want to talk about in this video is which characters could we see die in this battle for Winterfell. You also have to keep something in mind. When and if these characters do die, there is a very good chance they could be brought back as Whites. We might see the Night King raise the dead every single time a character falls during the battle. One way to stop this is to make sure the dead bodies are caught on fire immediately. However, Winterfell will be in such a frenzy, there is no way to keep track of every character that dies. Nikolai Coster-Waldau, also known as Jaime Lannister, sat down for an interview when they were still making the final season. He said we will see main characters get turned into Whites. He said, "The fear is that I would be turned into one of the undead. That would suck. You know some of the main characters are going to get turned. There's gonna be some blue-eyed main characters running around, and God, I hope it's not me." Now obviously, we know the actors are not allowed to give away any spoilers at any time, but this is something I have always thought we would see. This is already beginning to happen, starting in the very first episode. The last Hearth was attacked by the Night King, and he did turn Little Ned Umber into a White. Now that Winterfell is about to spend the entire next episode under attack, which characters from this castle could die and even get turned into Whites? First, let's go over which characters are here and which characters we should see fighting in the battle. We get some good glimpses of this in the trailer. Now obviously, Arya Stark is at the battle, and we know she will be fighting in this battle. There is even evidence that the Army of the Dead does make it over the walls and inside the castle. This is not a good sign for our main characters. We also know Davos is here as well. We all know Davos is not much of a fighter. He has actually told us that many times, but we should see him active during the battle. He will need to be getting his hands dirty. We can also see Varys, Gilly, and Little Sam down in the crypts of Winterfell. They will not be fighting in the battle. They are also hiding in one of the safest areas of Winterfell, so they do have a very good chance of surviving the Night King's attack. Here we can see Beric Dondarrion, Tormund Giantsbane, and Lord Commander Dolorous Edd. They have made it to Winterfell in time for the battle. These guys will absolutely leave everything they have out there on the battlefield. Samwell Tarly and Bran Stark are of course here too. Bran obviously cannot fight in the traditional sense, but he might do something inside of the weirwood net during the battle. We should see Samwell Tarly fighting in the battle. Now he might not go right into the center of all the action, but I think he will do something. Jon Snow and Daenerys Targaryen will be definitely fighting in the battle. Now that Jon can ride a dragon, hopefully we can see him and Dany take them into the sky to fight Viserion. Sansa Stark will also be there during the battle, but I don't know how much fighting she will do. Maybe she stays up on the battlements until things get really crazy. Gendry will definitely be out there fighting side by side with most of the main fighters. Ser Jorah Mormont now has Heartsbane, so he will definitely be fighting some of the White Walkers. We should also see Lyanna Mormont out there too. She does look like she is ready for battle. Grey Worm will be kicking some ass as well. Now he has a dragonglass weapon of his own. Missandei, on the other hand, will not be out there fighting. We have seen Jaime Lannister fighting in the battle on top of Winterfell's battlements. That should be very interesting to see because we know Arya Stark and even Brienne will be fighting up there as well. Since Jaime and Brienne have Valyrian steel swords, we could see them fighting some White Walkers too. We have also seen someone standing next to Jaime during his fight scene. It looks like it could be Podrick. This would make sense because Brienne is up there too. Now I have seen some fans say that it could be Theon Greyjoy. I don't think that is Theon Greyjoy, but he will be fighting in the battle as well. Let us not forget our old friend Sandor Clegane. He seems to be fighting very close to Beric Dondarrion in a scene that is surrounded by fire. Hopefully Sandor doesn't get too scared and get himself killed because of the fire. Then, of course, we have Tyrion Lannister. I think we will see him on top of Winterfell's battlements for most of the battle. This is basically the entire main cast that will be here during the battle for Winterfell. Like I said, I don't think all of those characters will be fighting, but most of them will be out there getting their hands dirty. Now that the stage is set, let me tell you which characters I think will die during this battle. First, let me just say I don't have a bunch of evidence to show you why I think these characters die. This is basically just what I think happens. Now there is one character who I do think foreshadowed not only his own death, but also him coming back as a White.
Whoever dies last, be a good lad and burn the rest of us. Once I'm done with this world, I don't want to come back.
As much as I like Dolorous Edd, I think he is meant to die in this battle. When Jon Snow became the Lord Commander at Castle Black, he was Lord Commander number 998. Then he gave that title to Dolorous Edd when he left the Night's Watch. This made Dolorous Edd Lord Commander number 999. It seems like we are way too close to the number 1000 for us not to see that happen. After Dolorous Edd is killed in the battle, this will be a very big moment for the Night's Watch. I think it will either cease to exist, or a very unexpected character will take over the Watch, but that's just my opinion. Another character I think we will lose during the battle is Beric Dondarrion. Now, as I've said before, they kept Beric Dondarrion alive this long for a good reason. For those of you that don't know, Beric Dondarrion dies in the books. That happens just 3 days after Lady Catelyn is killed at the Red Wedding. Obviously, that never happened in the show. Beric Dondarrion has outlasted his book character. Now I think they're setting him up to save Sandor Clegane's life during the battle for Winterfell. Beric Dondarrion has been intertwined with House Clegane ever since the first season. That was when Ned Stark ordered Beric Dondarrion to go find Gregor Clegane, the Hound's brother.
Lord Beric Dondarrion. You shall have the command. Assemble 100 men and ride to Sir Gregor's keep.
As you command.
Beric was able to find the mountain, but he was also killed by him too. After Thoros of Myr brings him back from the dead, Beric eventually runs into another Clegane brother. As we all know, he ends up fighting him to the death as well. Beric Dondarrion has now been killed by both of the Clegane brothers. Now the crazy thing is, Beric and Sandor now kind of have an understanding of one another. Beric has even said the Lord of Light has a purpose for Sandor Clegane. I think Beric can see something in the Hound.
You can still help a lot more than you've harmed, Clegane. It's not too late for you.
I think, although Beric was killed by the Cleganes, he will end up saving Sandor Clegane during the battle, and that will eventually lead to Sandor Clegane killing his brother, Gregor Clegane. So in a very roundabout way, Beric will be bringing justice to the mountain, just like Ned Stark wanted him to do in the first season. I think we have even seen some evidence of Beric attempting to save the Hound during the battle. Like I said in my trailer breakdown video, it looks like the Hound has stopped fighting in that scene, most likely because of the fire all around him, but we can see Beric coming to the rescue.
We'll meet again, Clegane.
Beric will die by saving him, but the Hound will live, then go on to kill his brother. Another character that I think will die during the battle is Grey Worm. I think we saw Grey Worm give Missandei his last kiss goodbye in the trailer. Now, I really don't have a good explanation for why I think that's going to happen. It just seems like they've been building up the relationship just to tear it back down later, like they do with most of the relationships in the show. As soon as characters start to fall in love, they almost always kill one of them later. Since Grey Worm will be the one doing the fighting, I think it's him that dies. Unfortunately, I also think we could lose Tormund Giantsbane as well. Again, I don't know why, I just get the sense that he dies in the battle. He was already lucky he escaped death when he went beyond the wall. Then he was lucky again when the wall came falling down. I think in order for the battle to be realistic, I think we need to lose several characters. I know it might sound crazy to say the battle should be somewhat realistic because they are fighting ice demons, dragons, giants, and all kinds of other magical elements, but I think you know what I mean by that. There has to be a great sense of loss after the battle is over. After all, the Night King and his army are supposed to be the greatest threat Westeros has ever seen, so I'm expecting to lose a lot of beloved characters. I think we might even see Lyanna Mormont die in the battle too. I don't think she's just going to sit on the sidelines during the entire fight. The only problem is she hasn't had the type of training Arya Stark has had. If Lyanna Mormont steps out onto that battlefield, I would be shocked if she made it out of there alive. Also, like I've said in my Jaime Lannister videos, I think we could see him sacrifice himself for one of the members of House Stark. Not only did Jaime try to kill Bran Stark in the first episode, but he also told Lady Catelyn he would try to keep her daughter safe. Now, although they're back home, I can still see Jaime wanting to do all that he can to try to carry his own weight during the battle. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see Jaime make it back down to King's Landing so he can kill Cersei, but I will not be surprised if he sacrifices himself at Winterfell. He has also said that he wants to die in the arms of the woman he loves. I think he does have love for Brienne. Now, maybe it's not the same kind of love that he had for Cersei, but a different kind of love. I also think we could lose another dragon during the battle. The Night King made it look so easy to kill a dragon last season. Now he has his own dragon, and he still has a lot of White Walkers that have magical ice weapons of their own. There is a very good chance we could see several White Walkers trying to take down the other dragons. I think this battle will be absolutely chaotic. Daenerys already thought he had 100,000 whites last season, and now we know he has started to add more soldiers to his army. He resurrected everyone at the last hearth. Who knows how many other castles he went to along the way. Then you have all of Jon and Dany's soldiers. That many soldiers fighting in one area at the same time will look insane. The dragons will be shooting fire into the sky. There will be fire arrows and dragonglass arrows flying through the sky, and there will be fires all over the battlefield. The trebuchets will be launching things into the sky. It'll be complete madness. When I start to consider all of this, I know there is a very good chance we could see another one of Dany's dragons die. Also, I know we haven't seen her in the final season yet, but Melisandre will have to die at that battle as well. She already knows she is meant to die. I think Melisandre will sacrifice herself during the battle. After all, Melisandre has been waiting for this day ever since she was introduced on the Beach of Dragonstone. This is why her character was created. Melisandre's story ends at the climax of the battle. Now, regardless of what happens, I'm sure this will be one hell of a sight to see. I know I cannot wait to see how everything unfolds. I've been anticipating the great battle against the White Walkers ever since I saw them in the opening episode of the first season. Let me know which characters you think dies at Winterfell in the next episode. Anyways, I want to thank all of you for watching another video. I appreciate that as always. Now that the second episode is over, I will start working on my breakdown video. I hope to see you all come back for that one. Have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.